These country boys want to go to war, well, I'ma take them to war. Brooklyn, stand back up for your boy.
Alright, you kids get to bed, I get the storybook.
Rap's first civil war, the North versus the Dirty South. Sean Jay-Z Carter leaned back in the plush leather chair of his therapist's office. The Manhattan skyline loomed behind him, sunlight bouncing off the glass buildings, but his eyes were fixed on the floor.
I'm just bored,
Jay-Z said, running his hands over his face.
It's been 5 years since I hit billionaire status. I've had it all. Fly V's, mansions on both coasts, yachts, any bitch I laid eyes on. Even being married to B doesn't fill this void, Doc.
Dr. Reynolds, his therapist, a wiry-framed 69-year-old, scribbled a note on his pad. What about trying something new? Extreme sports, perhaps? Parachuting? Base jumping? They could bring some excitement. Me and the boys once bungeed off of the Eiffel Tower. I nearly shitted in my trousers, Sean. Jay-Z chuckled.
I'm bored, Doc, not suicidal.
The session wrapped up with little resolution, and Jay-Z returned home to his family's lavish East Coast estate, having recently relocating back to the Empire State due to missing home. As he walked into the vast living room, his daughter Blue Ivy was sitting at the super long dining table surrounded by a chrome book and papers.
What you working on, Blue?
He asked. A school project about the American Civil War, she replied, not looking up. Jay-Z's interest piqued.
The Civil War, huh? Maybe we should watch Glory together. It's a classic flick with my boy Denzel in it.
He finished, mentioning the 1989 big office smash co-starring his good friend, actor Denzel Washington, who won awards for his performance as a black Union soldier in the film. Later that evening, father and daughter watched the movie. Midway through, as Denzel Washington's character delivered a stirring speech, a light bulb went off in Jay-Z's head. He paused the movie. Blue, you just gave me an idea, he said, grinning. What idea, Daddy? She asked. You'll see, he replied cryptically. One of Rap's top 5 got the notion to start his own civil war. Rap's first civil war. New York against the South, just like his old friend, the notorious B.I.G., was thrust into the East Coast versus West Coast beef 2.5 decades ago. Jay-Z had long been tired of Southern artists dominating rap anyway. Not that they affected him because he stood out amongst all rappers, no matter where they were from, but that Brooklyn bullshit that Biggie mentioned in his song, Hypnotize, still flowed through his veins.
That Brooklyn bullshit, we on it.
And right now it was screaming for smoke. Smoke with any nigga that rapped but wasn't from up top. New York, Philly, Jersey, Boston, CT, and maybe down as far as the DMV. The next morning, the hip-hop world was turned upside down. Jay-Z, notoriously quiet on social media, had posted a tweet from his official X account. I'm about to be back on my BS. This time, hip-hop is coming home. Everybody from New York needs to ride with me. Hashtag Rap Civil War. Hashtag hip-hop started in New York. The internet exploded. Fans debated whether the tweet was real, but X confirmed the account's authenticity. Bloggers and podcasters dissected every word, and the hashtag Rap Civil War trended within hours. Jay-Z followed the tweet with another one. The South had their run. It's time to remind the world where hip-hop was born. Let's bring it back to the Empire State. Hashtag NY forever. Meanwhile, the South's biggest rap legends were on a historic tour. Cash Money Records and No Limit Records, once rivals in their hometown of New Orleans, had united for a series of sold-out shows across the country. The tour's highlight was the use of holograms of deceased No Limit rapper Mr. Magic and incarcerated rapper Corey C. Murder Miller to perform their iconic hit, Down For My Niggas, with Snoop Dogg popping out at certain dates to perform his verse. The tour's next stop was Madison Square Garden in Manhattan. Jay-Z's tweets had already set the stage for tension, but the next move escalated things further. The night before the concert, Jay-Z tweeted more drama-filled words to stir things up. New York, stand up. Don't let no one get a bag in our city and live to spend it. #Rap Civil War. The message was clear. This wasn't Jay-Z joking around. This was Jay-Z starting major shit like he did back in '01 when he went at Queensbridge MCs, Nas, and Mobb Deep. This was Jay-Z back in '04 when he broke up Rockefeller Records, rendering his, once business partner, Dame Dash penniless. This was Jay-Z back in '09 when he attempted to shut down the rap industry's usage of auto-tune by releasing the diss track, Death of Auto-Tune. This was a billionaire bully on his Brooklyn bullshit. The night of the concert was chaotic. Fans lined up outside Madison Square Garden, buzzing with excitement, and tension simmered as die-hard New York fans clashed with Southern transplant supporters. The concert began without incident, but halfway through the show, violence erupted. Fights broke out in the stands, and security struggled to maintain order. The real chaos, however, unfolded outside. A Newark, New Jersey Bloods gang member and former Marine hurled a hand grenade at a Cash Money tour bus believed to be carrying rap superstar Lil Wayne. The explosion rocked the street, damaging the entire side of the bus's passenger side and injuring several occupants who hadn't exited the bus for the arena yet. Early reports falsely claimed that Lil Wayne himself had been killed, but it was later revealed that legendary group, the Hot Boys members BG and Turk, were critically injured in the explosion. Both men rushed to nearby hospitals. The gangster Marine had stolen the grenade from his last military post and escaped the scene of the crime in a Jeep Grand Cherokee with Delaware license plates. The bombing made headlines worldwide. Jay-Z's PR team immediately issued a statement condemning the violence in an attempt to do damage control, but the damage was done. Southern rappers fired back immediately with tweets and Instagram posts aimed going in on the Jigga Man and the East Coast in a whole. Southern rappers like T.I., Young Thug, and 21 Savage joined forces, releasing a scathing diss track titled Billionaire Fuckboy Club, taking multiple shots at Young Hova, Jadakiss, A$AP Rocky, Cardi B, and other East Coast artists. In response, New York rappers like veteran MC, Nas, K-Flock, Scarlip, and Lola Brooke rallied behind Jay-Z with their own diss tracks. The airwaves were flooded with fiery verses, and fans across the country picked sides. The Civil War was in full swing, the North versus the South, and the initial smoke brought other rappers in like 2 Chainz, Ludacris, Gucci Mane, and 5EO Foreign, Math Hoffa, A$AP, members of the Wu-Tang Clan, Meek Mill, and Papoose. East Coast rappers couldn't perform shows in the South without catching flack from supporters of Southern rap, and vice versa when Southern acts attempted to perform in the North. There were small riots in some Southern cities like Miami, Charlotte, and Birmingham when Northern transplants clashed with natives. It got so bad in the city of Atlanta that gangbangers was driving around doing drive-bys on any car that had New York license plates on it. From the Northern standpoint, their argument was that hip-hop started in New York, and after allowing the South to borrow it for a few decades, it was time to bring it back home where it belonged. The Southerners, on the other hand, highlighted the words of legendary rapper Andre 3000 when he said the South had something to say after getting booed at the 1995 Source Awards. The death toll rose steadily, and when reporters asked President Trump what he thought about the violence, he said,
"Those people are stereotypically violent in nature, so this silly musical war they're having is not surprising at all. I have informed all law enforcement to just sit back and let the problem solve itself, if you know what I mean."
A major turn of events occurred one night during a New York Knicks versus Atlanta Hawks NBA game at State Farm Arena in downtown Atlanta. Several fights broke out in the waiting lines, as well as in the stands amongst fans of each team, and during game time, the violence even trickled down to the players when Karl Anthony Towns, a New Jersey native, punched the Hawks center, Clint Capella, in the face after a hard foul that caused each team's benches to clear out in an all-out brawl. After the melee was broken up and the arena cleared out due to cancellation of the game, Atlanta's hard-nosed DA, Fannie Willis, held a press conference condemning the violence and threatening prosecution against all parties involved, even the basketball players. She ended the presser with a bold statement that she didn't care if the New York player that started the fight was 7 feet tall, because she would have a special jail cell built just for his size if she had to. Various Southern politicians began bothering the president about the nonsensical violence until he had to speak about the matter again.
I tried to stay out of this, but you people forced my hand. From this day forward, if there is any more violence on account of this rap war, then I'm going to pass a bill banning all rap and hop hip or whatever the hell they call it in America. That means if any person creates, performs, or even plays that music and is caught by law enforcement, they will be imprisoned for a term of up to 10 years in a federal prison, followed by a hefty fine of $5,000.
Trump's absurd bill was ridiculed by the hip-hop community, especially so since rap music dominated every avenue of America's entertainment field. In the days to come, a group of OG Atlanta rappers from Jeezy to Gucci Mane all came together and came up with a plan to end the war by having one Southern rapper to come out of retirement and dropping a diss record towards the North's leader, Jay-Z, that would silence all critics. They began DMing and trying to contact one half of the iconic group, Outkast, but 3 Stacks, a flute player now, never answered his phone, but after several more attempts, through his group partner, rapper Big Boy, he finally met up with the group and discussed coming out of his rap shell and releasing a new song aimed at Jay. At first, Andre refused to get involved, but when the OGs got his own son to convince him to do it, he finally agreed.
Yeah, I be talking that I'm too old to rap shit, even though a 60-year-old Mike Tyson wasn't too old to box Jake Paul, even though it was a set-up fight. If I really wanted to, I would slaughter Jay-Z in a battle, but it's just so much more peaceful to put my flute in my mouth and blow out beautiful melodies, my nigga.
Why you staring at my booty like that? Since you want to act all thirsty, you need to hit that like and subscribe button for this video. You keep staring at my booty and I'ma tell my man GK and he ain't gonna let you watch his stories no mo.
These niggas want me to battle Jay, but what the fuck am I gonna rap about? Getting a colonoscopy after I done shitted on myself because I forgot to wear the adult Pampers my doctor prescribed to me?
3000's PR team began promoting the song, titled "The South Still Got Something to Say," and promoted it as the most dangerous diss record ever made. The veteran rappers were even able to exercise enough diplomacy to get Northern MCs to agree to a versus-style rap battle between Jay and Andre to end the war once and for all. The only stipulation was that it had to be held in a neutral city, so West Coast great Kendrick Lamar chimed in and agreed to sponsor the event out in his native Los Angeles. The culmination of the rap war brought everyone to Los Angeles' SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. The event, hosted by Kendrick Lamar, promised to settle the North versus South feud once and for all. The stadium was packed to capacity, with millions more tuning in via live stream on the Triller app. This was the ultimate battle, Jay-Z representing the North and Andre 3000 stepping up for the South. Kendrick, dressed in a sleek black GK David Clothing Cartel hoodie, stood center stage. "Tonight we end this shit once and for all. 2 legends, 1 stage. Let's get it." Jay-Z took the mic first, adorning baggy blue jeans, tan-colored Timberland boots, and a navy blue Yankees hat cocked to the side, his presence commanding. He launched into a blistering 200-bar freestyle, tearing into the South with sharp wordplay. He called their style slow and countrified, mocking their drawls and claiming their success was built on the North's foundations. The crowd roared, hanging on to every line, especially when he ended by mocking his component with the line, "Niggas that play flutes get the boot," before pretending to kick a timid-looking Andre 3000 in the butt. When it was Andre's turn, the anticipation was palpable. The reclusive legend hadn't rapped in years, and fans were eager to hear his response. Dressed in a simple outfit, a cardigan sweater and purple bell-bottom trousers, he opened his mouth, but no words came out. The crowd murmured, confused. Again, he attempted to bust a rap, but nothing came out of his mouth. As T.I. and Lil Boozy glared at him angrily from the front row, Andre reached into his man bag, strapped around his chest, and pulled out a wooden flute. He began to play a haunting melody that echoed through the stadium. The crowd, initially stunned, erupted into boos. Andre continued to play, undeterred by the jeers. His melody was soulful, but it wasn't what the crowd wanted. Jay-Z, standing to the side, smirked as he watched the crowd's reaction. Andre finished his performance, placed the flute back in his man purse, and walked off stage without saying a word. Former Atlanta rappers like Roscoe Dash and Young Jock started throwing trash at their once hometown hero, plastic water bottles and packs of peanut M&Ms, trying to bust him in the face for embarrassing their city. Kendrick returned to the mic, struggling to contain the tension. Well, that was unexpected. Let's give it up for both legends tonight. The culture is the real winner. But in the court of public opinion, Jay-Z's fiery freestyle had already been declared the victor. Social media lit up, crowning the North the winners of the rap civil war. Andre's unconventional performance, while artistically intriguing, failed to meet the moment's demands. The war was over, but the conversation about its impact on hip-hop was just beginning. If 3 Stacks would have actually came clap back at Jay, he probably would have won, or at least tied him, but by not rapping just pissed every rapper from the South off so much that several of the Atlanta legends started posing tweets and threads claiming Andre 3000 was now banned from the city, just like that judge banned Young Thug from the city. There was more drama that occurred that night. Long after people cleared out of SoFi Stadium, the host, Kendrick Lamar, posted a comment under one of the Atlanta rapper's tweets that went viral. Kendrick typed that he single-handedly crushed New York way back in 2016 on that Big Sean Control remix verse when he said he was the king of New York despite being straight out of Compton, California, which was blatantly disrespectful, and not one nigga from New York did anything about it. Jay-Z got wind of this, and since he was feeling himself after dusting off the Dirty Souf, he decided to keep it going by tweeting out super disrespectful words in response to Kendrick's comment, directly challenging the meat-sucking midget to a battle. These tweets were the beginning of what would become the East Coast versus West Coast beef part 2.
B just made the announcement, y'all. She pregnant again. This gonna be our last one. That little nigga Kendrick Lamar don't even got my unborn kid money, but this clown wanna battle me. Get the hell out of here.